Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Rurouni Kenshin or Inuyasha, and like and subscribe to fight shirtless next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Alexander Louis Armstrong, the Strong Arm Alchemist and living proof that you can eventually become muscular enough that it's magical. I'm still working on getting there myself. Currently I can cast Inflict Wounds on myself, then lie motionless on the floor for 15 minutes, so it's not going great. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to bear arms, with Arm strong as a bear being born from a bare chest of Armstrong. Next, we need to punch things until magic happens, specifically focusing our list on rocks and quakes. Finally, we'll be large and in charge, and maybe also decorate our gloves with some cool symbols. I feel like I just kind of tipped off what I'm doing, but if you guessed it, that's fine, just keep watching because it kind of works really well. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Constitution will be number 1. Your rock hard muscles help you take hits like a tank. Strength next, those rock hard muscles have to smash rocks, otherwise what's the point? Charisma after that, Armstrong has Humpty Dumpty hair and is still hot, that's impressive. Follow that up with dexterity. Despite your size, you manage to keep up with Scar in a fight, and speed is kinda his thing. Murder is mostly his thing, but speed is his second thing. Wisdom is a bit low. You're good at tracking people down as a state alchemist, but we're gonna dump intelligence. You're not stupid, we just don't need it. Armstrong is a human. He's a big human, but there isn't a player race that's large, so Goliath doesn't make sense. Scoop up the tough feat because we don't really need anything else, and we'll have to go caster class for a pretty long time in this build. That means smaller hit die. The tough feat gives you 2 extra HP every time you level up. Bump your strength and your charisma with your 2 free points. That probably tips off what kind of caster we're using, but I'm not trying to surprise people, I'm just trying to build Armstrong here. Grab survival for your skill of choice to track down the baddies, and the noble background for history and persuasion. The strong arm technique is passed down like a family heirloom, but you don't even have to fight your sister for it. We'll kick things off as a fighter because arms. You can grab proficiency with athletics and intimidation, the unarmed fighting style, to deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage with your unarmed attacks, 1d8 with 2 free hands, or 1d4 to a creature you have grappled once per turn. I'm guessing your hugs are a little intense. I'd take the damage though. I would love that kind of support. You also get second wind, letting you recover 1d10 plus your fighter level in HP as a bonus action once per short rest. It's not a ton of healing, but when you're in great shape, it's easier to bounce back. Now that we can punch, let's punch the world to our will as a sorcerer. Controversy time! Tulok is gonna use long dead Unearthed Arcana. Oh no, Tulok, my DM doesn't like Unearthed Arcana. Tailor your video specifically to me! Fine, if you can't use Unearthed Arcana, use Draconic Bloodline. You'll get unarmored AC of 13 plus your dexterity modifier and 1 extra HP per level. But I'm gonna go for Stone Sorcerer, because I kinda wanted to get resurrected. I made the Shaggy video, and I used the Chef feat that was super dead, and then like 2 weeks later, there was an Unearthed Arcana with the Chef feat in it. I'm not saying that someone at Wizards of the Coast is watching my videos and resurrecting dead Unearthed Arcana because of it, but if they are, thanks for watching my videos. I really like Stone Sorcerer, give it a shot. Stone Sorcerers get Stone's durability for 1 extra HP per level, and unarmored defense that equals 13 plus your Constitution modifier. They are incredibly similar to the Draconic Bloodline Sorcerers, at least at this point, and Stone Sorcerer gives you a few more spell options as well that we're not even gonna use. Your AC will be slightly worse, but that's it. Anyway, spells and cantrips. Thunderclap forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing 1d6 thunder damage to those that fail. Blade Ward gives you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for a bit of Barbrarian effect, even if it's not all that great, debatably worse than just dodging. Mending lets you patch things together with alchemy, fixing a small crack in something, or putting 2 pieces of something back together. Mold Earth lets you turn a patch of 5 foot into ground into difficult terrain, move some of it out, change its color, or leave a message. You could use this for ammunition for one of your first level spells, Catapult, which forces a dexterity saving throw on a creature, dealing 3d8 bludgeoning damage to those that fail as you punch some stone weighing 5 pounds or less at them. Earth Tremor forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 10-foot radius, dealing 1d6 bludgeoning damage and knocking them prone if they fail. It also turns the area into difficult terrain, so hopefully that will at least slow Scar down. Probably not, dude is fast. Second level sorcerers get a Font of Magic with sorcery points that you can use to get your spell slots back. That means more rocks, and boy howdy do I love me some rocks. I also like shocks, like Shock Waves, like Thunder Wave, which forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cube in front of you, dealing 2d8 thunder damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. If they fail, it also pushes them 10 feet back. You've got a ton of options for pushing people away, which should help you with your unarmed fighting. Wait, no it won't. 3rd level sorcerers get meta magic, letting you augment your spells with sorcery points. Heightened spell gives a creature disadvantage on saving throws against spells you cast for harder to avoid punch rock missiles. Quickened spell lets you cast a spell as a bonus action that normally takes an action, letting you mix alchemy into your punching combos. For this level's spell, Maximilian's Earthen Grasp forces a strength saving throw on a creature in a 5-foot cube as a rock hand comes out and grabs them. If they fail, they're restrained and take 2d6 bludgeoning damage. As an action on your turn, you can make the hand crush them again, dealing another 2d6 damage each turn for up to a minute depending on your concentration. Since they're restrained though, you could also just punch them with advantage, so this is a hand that helps you throw hands. 4th level sorcerers get an ability score improvement. We'll start off investing in strength since punching is really good even if we're more of a caster at this point. For this level spell, Hold Person paralyzes a humanoid that fails a wisdom saving throw, which is like a more intense version of a restraint since now you can critically hit with all attacks made within 5 feet of them, letting you rain down a hurricane of fists. 5th level sorcerers get 3rd level spells. Erupting Earth forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot cube, dealing 3d12 bludgeoning damage to them that fail, and half as much to those that succeed. The whole area also turns into difficult terrain, slowing down everyone who might try and get away from your massive power. We should actually probably get some more power then. 2nd level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. When you pair this with Quickened Spell, you can actually get an attack action, a cantrip, and an Eruption of Earth all in the same turn. Since you don't actually get that much screen time, it's probably good that you get the most out of it. 3rd level fighters can choose a martial archetype. Rune Knights put runes on their stuff and get big. It's a pretty perfect fit for Armstrong. First, you get Giant's Might, letting you turn large, get advantage on strength checks and saves, and even add a d6 of extra damage to 1 attack per round. It just can't be a spell attack. You also get 2 runes. Frost gives you advantage on animal handling and intimidation checks, and for 1 minute per short rest, you can add 2 to the strength and constitution ability checks you make, which should pair really well with your sizable strength and constitution scores. The Cloud Rune gives you advantage on a sleight of hand or deception check, and once per short rest, you can make an attack that should hit 1 creature within 30 feet of you, hit another creature within 30 feet of you, use some of your speed to destroy the incoming attack, then create an attack for someone else. It's creation and destruction. That's alchemy, baby. 4th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Strength will be the best thing to invest in, especially since we're about to get an extra attack. Because 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks with your action instead of 1, lock someone down with alchemy, then pummel away with some massive critical hits from your massive arms. 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Cap off your strength to be nearly as strong as a barbarian. Oh hey, let's talk about why we didn't go barbarian. I know some people think he's got no shirt. He needs to be a monk or barbarian, right? Well, we can get unarmored defense from the sorcerer, and if we want to do the earth shatter stuff, we can't be raging. Going monk would force us into investing in dexterity or wisdom, but strength, constitution, and charisma are all much more important to be Armstrong. Rune Knight will give us more ability scores to spread the love across those 3 stats. In a way, it's more mad friendly than barbarian, as long as mad means multi-ability dependent. 7th level Rune Knights can actually grab another Barbarian adjacent ability thanks to the Hill Rune, which gives you permanent advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, resistance to poison damage, and for a minute per short rest, you can resist bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. This is one of the few times when it's acceptable to be shirtless in a public forum. Blast bare chest the whole time. You also get Runic Shield, letting you defend a creature within 60 feet of you, forcing an attacker to reroll their attack if it was successful. Protection is part of being a state alchemist. Do your thing, keep the new kid safe. He seems nice. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement. We'll push for Constitution now for better HP and more AC. It's double duty defense, letting you stay in the fight for a few more rounds, even if you're not actually there for most of the fights. 9th level fighters get Indomitable, letting you reroll a failed saving throw once per long rest. You can't dent steel or melt it, though you and Roy wouldn't fight. You're like BFFs. 10th level Rune Knights get Great Stature, letting you make yourself 3d4 inches taller permanently and increasing your giant might damage to a d8. For this level's rune, the Storm Rune gives you advantage on Arcana checks and you can't be surprised while you're awake. You can also force a creature to roll an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check with advantage or disadvantage using your reaction for a minute per short rest. How could anyone fight at their best when they're distracted by those massive pecs? 11th level fighters get another extra attack to make 3 attacks per round with your action or 6 with an action surge to smash with the speed and power of a jackhammer. A jacked hammer, if you will. 12th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Cap off that constitution for 18 AC. Unless your DM isn't fun and doesn't allow Storm Sorcerer, then I don't know, play a different character. There's like 300 more options at this point. 13th level fighters get another use of Indomitable. They can even use those on death saving throws. Dying is bad. We try not to do that here. 14th level fighters get our last ability score improvement, get that charisma up for better spells. It's unfortunate that we can't get it higher than +3, but you're really going to get more done with punching than alchemy. Our capstone is the 15th level of Rune Knight, making you a master of runes, letting you use your runes twice per short rest instead of once. That will also double how often you can get the physical resistances and the bigger lifting abilities. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're a bulky boy with around 250 HP, resistance to physical damage, and a decent 18 AC with no armor necessary. You can also fight without any resources. No armor, no weapons, no problem. You're always ready to go. Finally, big strength is always fun. Grappling, throwing things, smashing stuff, who could resist that? For weaknesses, you didn't cap off your charisma modifier, so your casting is bad. Also, the spells you took are bad. Earth stuff isn't good, it makes difficult terrain, but you have no method to deal with that either. It's also a big issue with flying foes as well, since your ranged options are pretty limited, so hopefully your foes are all grounded. But flying alchemy isn't really a thing, so just lock people down, then combo them with your big fists. You're a master of destruction and creation. Just make something ranged with the latter, or you could end up the victim of the former. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Inuyasha or Rurouni Kenshin, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.